Welcome back to Sports Ramble. This is a special game day edition of the show where we just ramble about sports. I'm Big D, the rambling Big D, and here's the host, co-host, Corbin Rush.
Man, what a special time for us, Dennis. We're actually recording this the night before. This is going to release at I think 10 a.m. EDT.
Eastern? Yeah.
Or is it Eastern anymore? What is it? I don't even know anymore.
It's EDT, Eastern Daytime.
I don't know. This guy be yelling at me all the time for it. He just comes for me. Anyways, we got a full slate of college football coming ahead. Obviously, I was just going to wear a sweatshirt, like a sweater, but then I remembered we're playing. Is it our biggest rival? Would you say our biggest rival, Dennis?
Historically, it's up there.
The Tennessee Bama's big, but
it ebbs and flows. It ebbs and flows.
Anyways, I hate Florida. Dennis hates Florida. Everybody hates Florida. So
Everyone
of course we got to rock the Hawaiian Tennessee shirt because we'll get to it. We'll get to it. So we're just going to do a quick rundown, talk about what's coming up, what games are on the slate for this beautiful Saturday morning, evening, and afternoon, and other times of the day. It's late, man. It's late. It's 11 o'clock right now. I'm tired. We're gonna crank this out. We're letting it rip. We have a special late night potty. Oh.
All right, we're gonna let this rip. Just kind of college game day, Lee Corso and the boys, Herbie and all that. Just rip out some predictions for the games. We're giving a little background, on how they've been performing this year, and let our takes rip there. So the first game I got for us is Penn State, Illinois, and the
Penn
book
State by
has
46.
Penn State by 14.
Penn State covers. Drew Aller's him. Penn State's the best team in the Big Ten, and I think they're the second best team. If they're not the best team, they're the second best team this year.
Michigan's not on this list this week because they're playing a no one.
Green.
Yeah,
I don't even know who they're playing, honestly, but it doesn't matter. Roman Wilson, I just need you to get one touchdown, please. Thank you. Yeah, I think Penn State goes in, they roll. Illinois actually just got beat by who they get beat by a couple weeks ago because
it was last week and it was bad.
It was bad, and it wasn't a team that I thought would go out and whoop them. But
it's like Indiana or something like that.
No, it wasn't Indiana. It was Iowa. No, wow, I really feel like
you make me fucking pull this up.
Yeah, you got to pull it up now. Whoa, Dennis.
Sorry.
Pull up your sign. Where's your sign?
It's on the wall.
Well, we don't have a crowd behind us, but Nova is looking at you with just her nose in the corner very upsettingly. So
I will say this Penn State Illinois game, was it 2 years ago? One of the most frustrating games I've ever watched. Brett Bellima, is that his name? Bellima.
I think so.
Going into 47 overtimes. The only reason he was hanging around with number 7 Penn State was because he had lined up the whole game with, 9 down linemen, running back, quarterback, and run the ball. You get to overtime and he tries to run spread.
Man, LSU plays, or not LSU. Wow. I'm way off my game right now. Penn State plays, bro, we might have to restart this pod. I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm all over the place right now. Illinois plays that NFL cover 2. They got that tough defense that they play. Penn State, I think, might struggle with it a little bit, but I don't know, man. Drew Allers looking like a dude. Kansas worked. Illinois.
Yeah,
that's who it was. Kansas worked Illinois.
I mean, it didn't really work. It
was bad. It was bad early.
It was worse than I anticipated, I will say.
Yeah, it was bad early, and then it got better, progressively better. But we're just spitballing right now, man. We're just here to have a good time. We're just throwing things at the wall right now. This is just for funsies. But
I got the next one we're going up. K-State, Mizzou. The book has K-State by 3.5.
At K-State?
Yeah, I think it's at Mizzou.
At Mizzou. It doesn't matter. K-State covers.
Yeah, K-State. They're both undefeated right now. If that means anything to you, it shouldn't.
Yep. Week 2, because this is technically week 2.
Yeah, they're both
K-State 2 covers.
So going back to the previous game because I didn't make my pick. Penn State covers. This one K-State covers by a lot, I think.
Yeah.
This is one of those lines that sticks out to me. If you were to bet
if Dennis bets on it, don't bet on it.
I'm not
Dennis
bet on
it. That is number one take for our viewers. who are watching for gambling advice, if
If you
whatever
hear
Dennis
Rambling Big
says,
D like lay out a line, don't take that line.
it's not gonna hit. It's not gonna hit.
All right.
But that's okay.
Let's
K-State.
go.
Oh, real quick. Speaking of Mizzou, can we just talk real quick about how terrible the SEC has looked through 2 weeks right now against out-conference opponents?
Yeah, it's not been pretty for anyone.
No. Me and Dennis had a long, excessive rant about how much it means in the South. And right now it looks like it means
I can't even say what it means anymore because like
I don't even know. Alabama looked terrible, and we're gonna get to this, but Georgia has looked like Georgia against 2 mediocre opponents. Tennessee hasn't looked great. Florida looked awful against a Utah team that barely beat a bad Baylor team.
yeah,
I mean, it's been the SEC has looked pathetic through
it's
week
been
2
bad.
right now.
And Mizzou's not real SEC, so like
No, but I'm just saying it's just another reason we're just gonna get SEC's playing Big 12. There's just another loss in the SEC column. It is bad right now for the SEC. It does not mean more. It doesn't mean anything right now in the South.
It means about the same, I guess.
Yeah.
It means about the same.
Football means exactly what it means in the Pac-12 for the SEC right now, and that's I don't even know if I go that far. It means, but it means in Conference USA, it means just as much to the SEC right now.
Yeah. All right, the next game. Well, I'm gonna love this. Minnesota at UNC. Book has UNC by 7.
Minnesota covers. I think Minnesota's a good Big Ten team. I don't think they're explosive on offense. I think they have a really good defense.
They're a competitive Big Ten team.
Yeah.
Who plays Big Ten defense against an ACC team that, like, I was really high on UNC coming into the year.
They have not looked great either.
I think South Carolina's pretty bad, and they didn't really – it's not like they blew out South Carolina. At a neutral site.
An SEC loss to a decent ACC team.
Yeah, and then last week it's App State. You know, UNC almost lost to App State.
App State is always a good team, though. I mean,
I think I've got Minnesota in the upset here.
You're taking Minnesota money line. You're just taking straight up.
Yeah, I'm taking Minnesota.
I think UNC wins, but I think Minnesota covers. Is what I think. Drake Mays looks great, though. I mean, you can't take that away from. I mean, he's yeah. I mean, he's still a top quarterback.
Top 1 or 2 guy like we were talking about.
I know who my top 1 and 2 are right now, but we'll get to it. But yeah. Ooh. So Minnesota, you got Minnesota winning straight up. I got Minnesota covering Penn Penn State. Wow, it's bad. UNC winning the game.
All right, we got next up Northwestern at Duke. Book has Duke by 17.
Okay.
Northwestern has the best cornerback duo in the country, in my opinion, or one of them.
And
they're very high.
And Duke's quarterback is very raw. So I take Northwestern to cover here. Duke still wins. I think Duke wins probably by 10.
I don't know. I think it's a close game.
You think it's a close game?
Like I said, I'm very high on Duke's defense. I think Duke's defense plays incredibly fast. Like one of the more athletic units, especially in the ACC, arguably in the country. I don't think they're going to be able to get it going offensively. I think it's like a field goal game. You know what I'm talking about?
Their quarterback is very raw. He's massive. He's athletic. He has a cannon of an arm. He's just very raw. He's just raw. So
and against that's a veteran Northwestern defense.
Yeah. So even if Northwestern doesn't have the athletes, they're going to be very disciplined. So
yeah,
I don't think Duke covers on -17.5.
At just -17 straight up.
-17. So I don't think. Yeah, I don't think Duke covers that. I think Duke still wins, but I think Northwestern absolutely covers in that game.
I think it's a close game, like somewhere between 3 and 10. I mean,
right now Duke looks like maybe the third best team in the ACC.
I think Miami might be the best team in the ACC.
Florida State is looking.
Florida State. Miami is a lot. And what did I say in that week 1?
Texas A&M also wildly under. Jimbo Fish. There's a lot to talk about. Okay. We got. Okay, if we gotta get through. We'll get through the slate and then we'll get to our game day.
Here's a good one. Washington, Michigan State. Washington by 16.5.
Okay, Washington covers, and I'll explain
Washington
why.
Covers by a lot.
Mel
Michael
Tucker,
Penix.
everything that's going on with Mel Tucker right now, there's no chance Michigan State has been preparing correct. They're not going to be in the right mindset coming into this game. Michael Penix is arguably the best quarterback in college football. I
will say probably the best arm talent in college football.
I can get behind that. The dude throws just an absolutely a howitzer. What do you call those things? It just flies out the hand, man. He just got
a rocket, baby.
It's just pretty. It's just pretty. You could throw it through a car wash and it not get wet. I think that's what they, when you throw a pretty ball. Okay, arm talent, no, because Joe Milton, dude.
He's got a big arm.
But yeah, fair enough. Overall talent.
Yeah.
Overall arm talent. The best quarterback.
Not arm strength, arm talent.
The overall best quarterback we all know is Caleb Williams, but Michael Penix is absolutely the second best quarterback in the Pac-12 for now.
As of this moment.
Is that foreshadowing? A little foreshadowing on a podcast?
Next one. I don't know why I picked this one. Georgia Tech, Ole Miss. Mississippi by 17.5.
I'm taking
I think Georgia Tech covers.
You think Georgia Tech covers? I'm going to take Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss.
I think Ole Miss by 17. I think that extra point. I don't think they win by 18.
You don't think they pull by 18? I think Ole Miss covers. I think they win. They win handedly. I mean, they just beat a good Tulane team
without their quarterback.
That is true.
Who's by far the best non-power 5 quarterback.
Yeah.
And
fair enough.
Honestly, would be, if they were power 5, would be up there in the conversation with those guys like Drake May and them.
Yeah. Tulane's good though. Even without their
Tulane
is good. They have players all over
game for a long time.
Yeah.
But,
so but Ole Miss covers. Lane Kiffin gets this on the fire extinguisher. Take 2.
Yeah.
But Dennis has Georgia Tech at plus 17.5. I got Ole Miss.
I got them to cover literally by that half point. Like, I think Mississippi wins and they win by a good bit, but 17.5 seems a little disrespectful to Georgia Tech. Like, they're not a bag.
Dude, we bring back the wing tee. Bring back the triple option. Football's gotten soft. I want to see some hard nose like. Anyways.
3 yards and a cloud of dust, baby.
Please. Who cares, man? Run the clock. Keep those offenses off the field.
And then I put this one in here so we can talk a little bit about that game last week. Wyoming, Texas. At Texas. Texas by 30.
Texas, hear me out here. Texas might be the best team in the country.
Texas
they dominated.
In Tuscaloosa.
In Bryant-Denny. They dominated the line of scrimmage. Athletes, what they have in their receiver core might be the best receiver core in college football.
And they exposed Joe Milton defensively. Like, Joe Milton's not starting this week.
Jalen Milroe?
Or not Joe Milroe, yeah. Sorry.
Wow. Look at us. Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
It's late, Corbin.
It's not like we worked a full shift each and got everything done. It's fine, though. It's fine. We're cranking it out. We're cranking out content, brother. That's what we do. Jalen Milroe did not look great. Did not even look good, but he did have 205 passing yards. So that dude won me some money. Shout out you, my man. You played just bad enough. He's not.
No.
Oh wow. Hey, shout out Jalen Milroe for being just good enough to get me my over on yards and just bad enough to suck so much that Texas looked like they are a league's better team than Alabama this year. But I will. Yeah. Texas dominated line of scrimmage. They dominated
big plays.
Athletically, Quinn Ewers throwing the ball down the field. He's
putting it in the basket.
Dude, Xavier Worthy might be. I think he's got to be in the conversation for best wide receiver in the country.
Conversation.
So
it's still Marvin Harrison Jr. until it's not. But because to be the man, you got to beat the man.
Yeah. Facts. And Marvin Harrison Jr. did have a comeback. He had a bounce back game.
Huge
against Youngstown State though. So can Kyle McCord get him the ball against at least average opponents? Not even good opponents, just average, because they couldn't do it against Indiana. So, but all right. Sorry, that was off topic. Little rant there. Texas by how many? 40?
30 is the line.
I'm taking Texas by 30. I'll buy that for a nickel.
I'm gonna make the content
actually. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
and I think it's the most Texas thing ever to go into Bryant-Denny and whoop Alabama, which brought so much joy to my soul, genuinely.
Oh, brother, I love watching
Absolutely
Alabama lose.
Beat up on Alabama. To then go home the next week and lose to Wyoming. Wouldn't that just be the most
You
Texas?
take Wyoming straight up?
I'm taking Wyoming.
It's
insane. The content. It's the content pick. The content pick.
I'm gonna backtrack too. I don't think Texas has this uncanny ability. It's honestly the most amazing thing I've ever seen, because no matter who the coach is and no matter who's on the field, Texas always plays to the level of their opponent. Yep. And I don't know how it's possible, but it's like a curse that happens there. So I still think Texas wins, but I think Wyoming covers. I think they beat Wyoming by 30. Yep. Texas is just terrible about playing down to their competition.
And I've got the content pick, Wyoming. Money line.
Do not take that. See, this is why, if you want to make
it's a lot of money, pick. I prefaced it. It's the content pick,
buddy. If you want to make a lot of money, you take Dennis's bets. Well, if you want the chance to make a lot of money, we're not claiming you will make money. If you want the chance to make a lot of money on a very low investment, high risk, high reward, brother. Actually, low risk, high reward. It's only $1.
50 cents sometimes.
Hey, if it works, it works. That's all I'm saying. All right, next game.
Next game, we got the actual college game day game of the week. Colorado State at Colorado. They got the Buffs by 23.5.
Okay, we're gonna take a little hiatus here because
we're going into this Colorado situation.
Colorado is right now my favorite team to watch in college football, even over my Tennessee Vols. One, because Tennessee makes my soul hurt, but we'll get to that later. Colorado is the most exciting team to watch in college football right now, and it's because of Coach Prime and what he's done overhauling that roster. Right now, they have the third best quarterback in college football, in my opinion. He's playing like the third best quarterback.
My pick for Heisman this year.
And I think in a lot of people's list, he's the best quarterback through 2 weeks of football right now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Caleb Williams has better stats, but he's also played lower competition comparatively. So, but I'm not saying Shadur is better than Caleb Williams. Let's get that. Let's nail that down. Yeah, but I'm just saying right now, statistically, I think Shadur is probably the best quarterback in NCAA football. Colorado's must-watch TV, and I don't know, they have not. That's not
every week.
Even against a team like Colorado State, they are must-watch TV. I can't tell you how many people are going to be tuning in to watch Colorado beat Colorado State by 75. I think Colorado beats Colorado. If there's an alt line for that, I'm taking Colorado minus 75. I don't care. I don't care. No, because here's what I don't understand. So you have an irrelevant coach for an irrelevant program at Colorado State, trying to get a little splash of what Dion is bringing to college football right now. And so he goes out and makes the comment, my mom taught me when I speak to grown-ups to take my hat off and take my glasses off. Brother, Colorado is going to whoop you by 36 just off principle alone.
And that's a realistic number.
Yeah, and that's just off principle of talent disparity. Now you've gone and you've made it, what is it, Dennis?
Personal.
Oh, man, why would you do that? Why would you give them any fire to come after you? I mean, if anybody is paying attention right now, Oregon, you better watch your mouth leading up to this next week, because you've already stuck your foot in your mouth once this season. If you give them anything else to go, I would not want to be Oregon. But
they feed off of that.
Like, dude, Prime
is such a good. He's a player's coach, right?
Mm-hmm. He's hard on them
in that locker room, and he gets on them. You know what they're saying about you? You hear what they're saying out there, and they eat that shit up, and they go out there and they shut everyone up.
I love Prime, man. Prime is so special for the sport right now. Dude, the speeches he gives pregame, it makes me want to go run through a wall for this dude. You know what I mean? Like, it makes me want to strap him back up. I pull a hammy thinking about putting a helmet on, and I don't even know how that's possible.
I haven't played football in like 7 years now? Like,
yeah. You have a torn ACL meniscus, like, recovered from that, and I've tore up my shoulder. I would go put on my shoulder pads and helmet tomorrow if I was in that locker room. And
I'm getting after it. It's like 2 hours up the road. Maybe I'll go lace them up.
Hey, you need to walk on Prime? You're gonna have to get back up to play and weight though, Dennis.
That's true.
You gotta put the
I gotta put on 40 pounds again.
But no, man, I don't know. They're must watch TV. why would you get Colorado State? If I'm a Colorado State player, I'm thinking about transferring before the game. I just like, why would your coach put
I'm not showing up tomorrow.
I don't understand the point. Like, why is your coach putting that target on your back? Like, you didn't need that. And like kids aren't stupid. They're not going in that game thinking they're going to upset Colorado. They know what's going to happen. Now they're going to play hard. I'm not saying they're going to go in, they're just going to roll over and let it happen. But I'm saying, like,
they also know their coach just ran their mouth to the worst person you could have run your mouth to in this situation.
And you know what I love about this? The greatest athletes of all time, they find those chips to have on their shoulder. Like Michael Jordan, greatest basketball player, he looked for anything.
Michael Jordan admittedly fabricated chips to have on his shoulder so that he would have the motivation to do that shit.
And what Prime is doing right now is instilling that drive into every single one of his players. And that makes you great, is you finding reasons to continue to get better, to continue to be the best, continue to dominate, to grind. And because it's easy to get complacent when you're at the top. And I'm not saying Colorado's at the top right now, but they go from a program
Prime will never let them be complacent.
No, and that's why I'm saying, why would you ever? He's already going to. Prime will not fabricate reasons, but he will find reasons to motivate his team without you having to add fuel to the fire. With you adding
and then you
fuel
go
to the fire,
that fuel,
and that fuel's not diesel. They're throwing straight gas on that fire, brother. That is explosion right there.
No changeup, no curveball, nothing but gas.
Oh, man. All right. We talked a lot about Colorado. Shedeur Sanders, he's my Heisman favorite right now. Right now, statistically, I think he's the best quarterback in college football. They dominated a Nebraska team playing not particularly well in the first half at all.
Yeah.
And still not great in the second half. And dominated against a Matt Rule coach.
By a lot. Which I got to eat some crow in my first eating crow session of the season. Sorry, Colorado. I did pick Nebraska. I was wrong.
If they watch Sports Ramble, you added fuel to the fire, Dennis.
That's true.
Hey,
Coach Prime saw the last episode, man. He said, you got to shut this boy up.
Bro, their run defense came to play. To play.
Which is Nebraska. The one thing we – what did I say? And I quote, Nebraska's going to set the single-game school rushing record against Colorado this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I was wrong.
No beating around that bush. You were wrong, and that's okay, Dennis. This whole podcast is about us being wrong because we don't know football, and we found that out.
I don't know ball.
We don't know ball at all, actually. All right, so Colorado by 75. If there's an alt line, take Colorado minus 75.
I had Colorado by 27. I think I'll go Colorado 27.
What was that game? Patrick Mahomes threw for like 700 passing yards or something. I don't know. Against Oklahoma at Baker Mayfield. Yeah. I fully expect Shedeur Sanders to approach that number this weekend.
I see it.
So,
all right. Next up, we got LSU, my Fighting Tigers, at Mississippi State. The line is LSU by 9.5.
Mississippi State covers. I love you, Dennis, but I don't think LSU beats Mississippi State by 9.5.
LSU just plays down, so like they're lazy. Like, sorry, Brian Kelly, not sorry. Brian Kelly's not a great coach. He's a good coach. He doesn't fit that school.
Yeah, unfortunately,
it is unfortunate. LSU wins at Mississippi State. I don't see them. I don't see LSU covering.
Yeah, Dennis, I don't know how much you want to put into this, but Brian Kelly has another dud this season. You know who's looking awful good out there in Colorado who just wants his big dudes. And you know who can get big dudes.
He also says he wants to stay in Boulder. So
yeah, I mean he does. He's about to get comfortable up there.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, LSU's got a lot of money, brother.
I would love Coach Prime in the Bayou.
I think if Coach Prime comes down to LSU, you and me got to get some tickets out there.
I'm getting season tickets.
And you live in Colorado.
And I live in Colorado.
All right. Next game.
All right. Last game on our list for this week. We got Tennessee, Florida.
All right. As a Tennessee fan, I want to be biased and say we're going to go down the swap for the first time in like what 20 years, 16 years, something like that, and win and beat Florida, or 16 appearances. I think we're going to beat Florida. I think
The line is 5.5.
I I want to say we're going to cover, but here's my thing, man. We played a bad Austin P football team, right? Like not bad as in like they're a bad football team, but like
And the first half of that Virginia game didn't look great either.
first half of the Virginia game did not look great. Joe Milton, he is not Hendon Hooker. He is, and I was so hoping he was going to come in, and I was like, this guy, he's a bigger athlete. He has a bigger arm. I mean, he has all the physical attributes you could want in a quarterback. I mean, if he plays to his potential,
you guys missed Hyatt a lot too.
Yeah. Ramel Keaton's really good, but he started dropping balls. And Squirrel White's got the speed, but Jalen Hyatt had game breaking speed. I mean, you could see him on the Giants. They were talking about him in training camp running like 24 miles an hour in pads.
Yeah.
Like the dude was insanely fast. So right now, Joe Milton still doesn't have the touch on the deep balls, and he doesn't have the touch on the short throws either. I don't know why he decides to throw rockets on a 6-yard, 7-yard slant. Like, dude,
it's like was it TJ Finley for LSU the year after Joe Burrow left? Little 6-yard crossing route. Yeah, go ahead and throw it 96 miles an hour. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, you got a howitzer. We know what you got, Joe Milton. I promise. You don't need to show it off. Right now, I just need to see you be accurate and put ball on time in the right place. And he struggled with that. And again, receiver, I mean, even if he is rocketing in there, you're a Division I football, like you're a Division I athlete, you're a Division I receiver. You got to be able to catch those balls. But man, I don't know, man. That thing comes hot. I mean, that thing jumps out of his hand.
Forced out of his hand.
Yeah, it's a lethal weapon.
Yeah,
coming out of his hand. But I mean, again, you gotta make the catch. So, I don't know, because like Florida loses to a Utah team
by a lot, like embarrassed on national television on Thursday night
without Cam Rising. So it wasn't like they went to that same Utah team, same players went to
Baylor,
who had lost to Texas State the week before. Texas State guys,
and not
Texas
just
State.
Like not a last second field goal either.
No, it was a thumping, and Utah barely squeaks out a win against that Baylor team. So I don't know if that just means we're going to go in and just stomp Florida in the swamp, because Joe Milton said he doesn't lose in Florida. So I'm praying that that's the truth. But I don't know, man. It just feels bad. Like something in my gut is just I don't feel great about it. I don't know if we cover. I think we win because I'm a Tennessee fan. I got to say, we're going to win. Like, I hate Florida. But it's just I was hoping by this point I would have already seen, like, okay, like, we're rolling. Joe Milton's got it.
Some glimpses, right? Like,
yeah. Like, Joe Milton's got it. Like,
but realistically, and like, no hate to anyone, almost lost Austin P.
Yeah. That game was a lot closer than it should.
Austin P outplayed you a majority of that game.
It was 30, like, it was like 13-6 at halftime.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. It's just there's a lot. It's very scary for me. I definitely thought Tennessee was going to look better this early in the season. But again, now seeing how bad Clemson is too, that game against Clemson last year doesn't look that great either. So I'm like, it's just there's a lot of worry going on for me as a Tennessee fan, a lot of anxiety. Hopefully we can pull it out, make it happen, but we'll see.
I got Tennessee. I don't have them covering.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think Tennessee finds a way because this Florida team is really weak.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, Tennessee's like my second favorite SEC team. So got to support my
LSU is my second favorite SEC team.
It is what it is. It's just the way it is.
Me and Dennis had a falling out last year after the LSU Tennessee game, but that's okay.
It wasn't pretty. But yeah, I mean, I just don't think they cover. they're a little suspect. Florida's definitely suspect, so you got some room to go there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I'll definitely be watching.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. Who is USC playing this week? Do we know?
The Trojans?
Because Caleb, dude, they're averaging 60 points a game right now. But again, they've played, I think, like San Jose State. They played, I don't even remember. It was something like they've played no-name teams. But
they might have a bye.
They did play week 0.
Yeah, so I think they might. I'm checking.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like they got a bye.
Gotcha. And Oregon State absolutely throttled their opponent last week. DJ looks a lot better. So coming back to this, because we just talked about it for like half a second. I want to speak on it a little bit more right now. Clemson, what is going on down there right now, man? Like,
dude, I don't know, because I watched the beginning of that game and the first half, like well through the first quarter. I think Charleston was actually winning.
Yeah, they were. And it was like ugly.
Yeah. I don't know.
What I mean, it's just this is
now. Granted, Clemson came back and ended up whooping them.
Mm-hmm. Clemson's playing FAU this weekend too, so should get another win. But I don't know, dude. Clemson looks bad. They just look bad. And like you said, Clemson came back and ended up whooping them. Maybe it was just getting things figured out after that first week. They got new coordinators, you know, like.
I mean, LSU got beat up by Florida State, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they played Grambling last weekend. You could just tell watching the game. In this, like before halftime, LSU stopped trying to score, and they just like found themselves in the end zone 6 more times.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you do need that tune-up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm hoping it was, right? Because I'm hoping they go down to Starkville tomorrow and absolutely just dismantle Mississippi State. I hope Jaden Daniels throws for 5 touchdowns again.
I do too. I'm with you, brother. I'm with you.
But I'm hoping that tune-up was what we needed. Build a little confidence, build a little chemistry on that, especially in that defensive secondary.
Mm-hmm.
It was good to see my boy Big Perk over there, you know, on the other side of the line of scrimmage, getting after the play a little bit.
They still dropping him into coverage though. It's weird.
Yeah.
Man. What are they doing?
For the country.
It's just killing his draft stock too.
Killing his I don't think it is. I think people saw enough that like, okay, they're not using him that way.
But I'm just saying, like, why would you not play your best player at his best position? It doesn't make sense.
Like he's not a bad. Don't get me wrong, he's not a bad coverage linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like I say, when you got a dog, you put the dog on the line and you let the dog eat.
Yeah, got to. I don't know. All right, real quick. I think that's pretty much everything we need to cover for college football right now. You want to talk about what we saw Thursday night? We'll talk about the first week of the NFL.
Which game?
Thursday night. Well, let me start off by saying this: Kirko Chains, we love you here. We're big fans on the podcast.
We love Kirko. Big Kirko.
We love Kirk. It is not your fault, my friend. You do not fumble the ball 4 times in that game. That is not you. Justin Jefferson fumbles 1 out of the end zone. And
it's also quick. Well, since we're talking about quarterbacks, we love quick shout out. Official quarterback of the sports Ramble, JJ McCarthy.
You've been killing it, my brother.
Played a fantastic game without a coach again last week. That's all I'm going to say on that.
Outstanding.
Thanks,
Outstanding.
We know you watch the potty, so we got to shout you out.
Hey, that's our boy. JJ McCarthy is again, we'll sponsor you. Not with money, but with cheers and positive support. We do anyways. We throw positivity your way. And you could be if you ever want to come on Sports Ramble, we're just an email away, a DM at Corbin Rush.
Anything. At Ramblin' Big D on Twitter or X, whatever it is now.
I don't know. So find us, JJ. We want to have you on. We love you.
But back to Kirko.
Back to Kirko Chains. Dude, he's thrown for like 708 yards in 2 games and like 8
He's on track for 6. He's on track for like, I saw a stat earlier. It's like just over 6,000 yards, like 50-some touchdowns and 9 interceptions this season.
Yeah. I don't know what more.
But his overall record is on track for 0-17.
Yeah, I just like there. Everybody makes fun. Kirk can't get it done in prime time. Dude, what does Kirk do on the?
He had a perfect game. He had a 125 passer rating.
Like
Thursday Night Football against the team that just made it to the Super Bowl last year.
And that defense has only gotten better, only gotten more pieces. So like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, stop hating Kirk. And he even like took responsibility for the Justin Jefferson fumble. He said if I would have thrown it better and he wouldn't have had to stop for it a little bit, then he would have been able to walk in untouched. And I'm like, what more do you want out of a quarterback?
I will say, I love that Jordan Addison connection he's got going.
Hey, it's Kirky a little.
Kirk, I've always been pretty high on Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
I'm loving what Kirk's doing.
Yeah,
loving it.
Also, Jalen Hurts hasn't looked great in his 2 starts, but I don't know if that's Super Bowl hangover and different coordinator. So like they're coming off a longer season and they just lost their coordinator who made Anthony Richardson. That's what I want to talk about too, real quick. That guy is going to be a problem in the NFL. But Jalen Hurts lost his offensive coordinator, who's now the head coach for the Indianapolis Colts. So like there's a lot going on. There's a lot of change. They had a long season, so they didn't even have as much time with the new offensive coordinator as you would if you got out of the playoffs in the first round. So there's a lot going on with Jalen. I think he'll figure it out. He's a dog. And I mean, him not playing well is him throwing for 192 yards and like 3 touchdowns or something like scoring 3 touchdowns. Like he's just like, so
they just got to dedicate to that. They have to commit to that power quarterback run scheme and just go for it. Like they need an identity right now. They're trying to figure that out without their coordinator.
And Devontae Smith is that dude can play. That dude can play. So real quick, because I think this will be the last thing we talk about.
Little AR-15.
Yeah, dude, he's a problem. He's gonna be a problem.
He's gonna be an issue. He's gonna be an issue.
One, he's running over linebackers. I don't know if anybody watched. They were marching down the field, and it was they were going to score, and he's making a play. I think it was late, like towards the end of the fourth quarter. Like they had lost, but he was just like because he's got that dog in him. And he runs through 2 linebackers on 4th down to get the first down on the goal line. I'm like, that's a quarterback, my friend. That is not.
That ain't no quarterback.
I don't know what, dude. He is a unit, and he's got a rocket arm, and he threw
strong safety.
They put Cam Chancellor at quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. That's what Cam Chancellor looks like at quarterback.
Dude, and he threw some beautiful passes. He had 1 bad interception.
Mm-hmm.
But again, if you watch the routes, Michael Pittman and the tight end both ran the same route. And the coach also said he called a wrong play in that moment. So, like, again,
he's young, he's raw.
Yeah. Dude, for as raw as Anthony Richardson was coming in, outstanding rookie start. He is, but outstanding first performance. So, all right. I think that's all for us on this podcast. Welcome to the first Sports Ramble College Game Day extravaganza between me and Big D. We love you guys. Check us out next time. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we will see you on the next pod.
Peace. Yo.